Thank you, Megan. And there's so much to build on, Nina, with what you said. And you're going to hear some amazing examples from Gabrielle, who's a fierce leader and one of WeConnect International's member buyers. And that's really what I'm most interested in sharing, with many thanks to Irene, who's been a friend of mine since I graduated from college, 30 years ago. I've been saying 20 for the last 2 days. It turns out it's 30. Not sure how that happened, but here we are. So my passion is to move as much money into the hands of women as fast as possible. Not to take it from men, but to make sure that women have an equal opportunity to compete and win. And not because it's a charitable thing to do. Yes, it has huge social benefits, but the truth is, the world desperately needs the solutions, the innovations that women offer. And right now, as Nina mentioned, they're invisible in our global value chains. They earn less than 1% of the spend of large corporations, of governments, of most multilateral institutions. And that is a massive, massive market failure. That's really bad business. It's bad for our communities. It's bad for our economies. It means we're not creating as many jobs as we collectively could offer. So there's an urgency. We need inclusive growth because when women earn money, they spend it on their families, they spend it on their communities, and they deliver solutions that right now aren't available to most of us. So I was very fortunate to be at the right place at the right time after the first OECD conference on women's entrepreneurship. We had our friends there from OIT, from Cogidare, from NABO, from many of the really important organizations around the world that have been working on these issues for a very, very long time as partners, because it is an ecosystem, and we cannot do this alone. We must have the policymakers. We must have the private sector with corporations like P&G that are helping to lead the way. We must have the civil society players and the multilaterals, but most importantly, we need the women. We need you to think really big about your potential as business owners. What is it that this ecosystem can do? Let us not assume what you need, and that's what I'd like to get out of today, is to have this be an interactive conversation. We're all experts. We're all in this room because we have the good fortune to have the kind of background that allows us to talk with each other. And let's be mindful of those who couldn't be with us and what are those needs. And then when we go home, let's make sure that what we've learned and who we've met, that we share. And when we do those things and when we work together and we're organized and we have purpose, and we invite those incredible men and non-binary people who are a part of our community. When we all work together, we really, truly can transform. Because if women influence $20 trillion in annual purchasing power, and we just spent, let's say, 10% of that with each other, that's $2 trillion into the hands of women, instantly, today. Not because policymakers said we should do it, not because corporates or multilaterals or civil society, but as we as individuals, how do we own this power? We're not trying to empower, we're already powerful. But then how do we get comfortable with that power? How do we leverage that power? How do we do something about it? And I would argue that using our purchasing power, in my opinion, is the single most powerful way to transform. It is the way we vote for the world that we want. It's how we give life to what we care about. So I'm very interested in this conversation because we have a lot of the key stakeholders, us, all of you, us together, to truly change sooner rather than later, in spite of the environment in which we're all working, or maybe because of it, that we really focus and we start doing things a little bit different, a little more coordinated, a little more strategic, and we use the tools that we already have available to us to change the world. So now I'm going to turn it over to my friend because she's actually putting this into action. This is a great example of one of the corporations, WeConnect International, was created by, they have $4 trillion in annual purchasing power. They're looking for women-owned businesses that are ready to invest in themselves and ready to compete, right? These companies don't hand out contracts, and women aren't looking for charity anyway. So that's the good news, is we have to just align what is it the world buys with what is it the women of the world can actually supply. So let me turn it over to you.